Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson worked out with the wide receiver of the Seattle Seahawks, DK Metcalf. And now some storylines are going around, bringing up the topic about the Pittsburgh Steelers trading for a wide receiver. So, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like the video. Now let's get right back into it. So, months ago, many rumors going on surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers that they called about Brandon Ayuk, that they called about Courtland Sutton, and even Benjamin Albright of NFL KOA Network said that they even called about DK Metcalf. He said, I don't believe a trade would get done there until after June 1st, but they called. So, looking at this topic, looking at the video, you can see why there's some correlation and why the topic is being brought back up now about DK Metcalf to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But first, before I get into it from a different perspective, let me just say this. Obviously, Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, they were teammates. They were teammates not too long ago. DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson on the Seattle Seahawks. And it's probably just two former players, two people who are used to working with each other for however many years with Seattle, used to being together, catching and throwing footballs with each other, just getting back in the offseason to work out and get better. That's what the offseason is for. How many times do you see former quarterbacks who used to play with their former wide receivers getting back together in the offseason, but because they've been separated because of trades, because they've been separated due to free agency, contract signings, and all that things, that they get back together in the offseason just for a workout to try to get better? This is what it's all about, getting the band back together sometimes and just working out and getting better in total. It helps Russell Wilson get ready for this upcoming season, having a big body receiver to throw to in DK Metcalf, just working out with drills, a fast wide receiver, and obviously DK Metcalf gets a quarterback of Russell Wilson's accuracy to throw him passes in the offseason. And just looking at DK Metcalf, when he did play in Seattle with Russell Wilson and looking at his stats were really well. You look at from 2019, and I believe it was up until 2 prior seasons, 2021, you look at it and he put up 900 and over 1,000 yards and over 10 touchdowns twice. So you look at his stats and he did really well with Russell Wilson. So he probably just wanted to get back with Russell Wilson for a short period of time, just throw, catch passes, and just get better in total. So you can't read too much into this, but looking at it from a different perspective now, many people see this video and they're just like, hey, they had interest in DK Metcalf before based off those reports by Albright. So maybe, just maybe, this is foreshadowing something to come with the Pittsburgh Steelers trading for DK Metcalf. And just looking at it from that perspective, would the Pittsburgh Steelers even trade for DK Metcalf? Well, it would probably take the same amount to trade for DK Metcalf as it would take to trade for Brandon Ayuk. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the works with Brandon Ayuk, then DK Metcalf, that could happen. But would the Seattle Seahawks do it? Probably not, because they have DK Metcalf under contract. It's not like he wants to leave. He's not making a big deal of anything like Brandon Ayuk is with his contract and all those things, cryptic posts that he's putting on social media and things like that. So he's not making a big show out of anything. He's only 26 years old. He's still young, still under contract, doesn't want to leave, and he's a big body receiver with a special talent in terms of catching the ball and creating separation via speed. So obviously, I don't believe the Seattle Seahawks would even want to trade him at this point, especially at this point in 2024. Maybe down the road in a couple seasons, sure. But right now, I see no reason why the Seattle Seahawks would want to trade DK Metcalf away if he's in a really good situation and the team is as well with him under contract. That's why it's not the same situation as the 49ers, because he's not up for a contract. Like, just let's first say, Brandon Ayuk is, who is making problems on social media, put up cryptic posts about the 49ers not wanting to trade him, how he wants to leave the team. He wants to be with his best friend in Washington, quarterback, Jaden McDaniels. So it's all about the optics of things, how you see DK Metcalf, he wants us to stay in Seattle, he's not making a big deal about of anything, and then you see Brandon Ayuk, who wants to basically leave, he wants that contract extension, is making a big deal, so obviously those trade rumors would be flying around even more for Brandon Ayuk. And you look at this point in the offseason, if the Steelers haven't made a trade by now, you really don't think a trade would have been made because we're getting so close to training camp, so close to the start of the season. So you really don't expect a trade to happen at this point. But could the Pittsburgh Steelers use a trade at the wide receiver spots, securing a number 1 or number 2 receiver? Sure, put another guy next to George Pickens. It could be great for this offense. Right now, the defense's game plan really only has to shut out George Pickens at the wide receiver spot. So getting another receiver could optimize this offense, optimize Russell Wilson, Arthur Smith, and even George Pickens, allowing another person who you have to take into the mix and maybe think about double team and things like that. So sure, trading for a wide receiver could help this offense a lot, but will it happen? More than likely not. And this training video is nothing to take out of context. It is what it is. It's as you see it. It's just two people training off season, getting better, two people who used to work out together. It might have been different if it was a player who just did not play with that player, was not former teammates with the player, and maybe they just worked out together. Like, just say, for example, if Russell Wilson was throwing to Brandon Ayuk, sure, the story could be much bigger, saying, hey, maybe Brandon Ayuk is expecting to be traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, so he's already getting some work in with Russell Wilson, the quarterback, because they never played together or something like that. So they're getting working together, getting ready for this upcoming season. Brandon Ayuk knows that he's about to be traded, so he's getting extra work in with Russell Wilson. But no, that's not what it is. It's DK Metcalf. Probably two friends, two former players, just practicing, getting better. So, in the big picture, this is nothing. Can the Pittsburgh Steelers trade for DK Metcalf? Sure. But is it more than likely? No. Is it likely? No. And just like I said about Brandon Ayuk before, would the Steelers really want to trade a number 1 draft pick or number 2 and number 3 draft pick for a player, for a wide receiver, and have to pay them top wide receiver money when in the future, in 1 year from now, 2 years from now, you're going to have to pay George Pickens $25+ million at the wide receiver spot? Are you really wanting to pay 2 receivers basically $25+ million at a wide receiver spot in this 2024 NFL world where wide receivers aren't getting paid that much, or it's more reliant on the quarterback's success? So you have to think about it like that. Would the Pittsburgh Steelers really be wanting to do that down the road? Give up draft capital, not have draft picks next season or the year after that for a player, and then have no space in the salary cap to sign other players and have to sign their own players as well to top contracts? So probably not, and that's why this situation is just what it is. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this topic, on people thinking, hey, this video of them training together is foreshadowing a trade coming where DK Metcalf is going to be a Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you believe, like I believe, it's nothing, and this Brandon Ayuk situation is not the same as the DK Metcalf situation? And also, let me know your thoughts. What do you want DK Metcalf on the Pittsburgh Steelers? Just say it was possible. What do you want him to be on the Pittsburgh Steelers and give up the draft capital, pay him the money, and have him be a Pittsburgh Steeler? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Training camp's right around the corner, covering all the highlights and analysis on that. Just like I covered this entire offseason, from the draft, new players, every new player we gotten, a video has been made on them, an introduction on the channel. So go ahead and check it out, and I'll continue covering everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. So, like this video, turn on notifications, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.